Okay, so here's the video for the General Training Task 1 overview. Okay, so some basic facts about Task 1. You have about 20 minutes for this, and you are required to write a letter of at least 150 words. Sometimes you are given a problem, which you have to write about, or you have to explain a situation, or request information, or ask for some action to be taken. And if it's a personal letter, you might have to write about your needs, wants, likes, dislikes, and so on. Now, a few key things to remember. The tone of the letter must be appropriate, whether it's formal or informal. The purpose of your letter must be clear. And you need to cover all of the points. And by points, I mean the bullet points in the task itself. Of course, your letter also has to be well organized and logically connected. So step 1, of course, read the task. You need to identify the purpose of the letter. What are you supposed to be writing about? Are you asking for help, requesting information, thanking someone, or whatever? And very importantly, decide if you're dealing with a formal or an informal letter. So here is an example of a formal letter. We know it's formal, well, because of the words used here. You're writing to a potential employer. So here are the 3 bullet points, and you are going to have to write about each of these. It's a good idea to maybe underline some key points in this, just to keep your letter on track. And here's an example of what would be an informal letter, because you're writing to a friend. And again, there are 3 bullet points. And again, it would be a good idea to underline some of the key points just to keep your letter on track. And for each of these bullet points, you need to write an equal amount. And each of these, as we're going to see later, is going to develop into its own paragraph. So step 2, as I mentioned before, you need to underline the key words. Now, as far as language go, of course, it's going to be a good idea to rephrase these words when you write your letter. So these are the points we looked at before. Now, step 3, brainstorm how you will respond to the task. Now, you need to respond to the 3 bullet points, but of course, this is like a hypothetical situation. So you are going to be required to invent some information. So for example, if we go back to our example of the letter to the potential employer, you're going to have to invent some reasons why the interview time needs to be moved. Step 4, write the actual letter. So we will use the bullet points to develop topics that will be used for separate paragraphs. So 3 bullet points means there are 3 topics, and these are going to be organized into 3 separate paragraphs. Step 4, write the letter. So this is our first bullet point from the task. And then this is going to be our first paragraph. This is the second bullet point from the task. And this will become our second paragraph. And the same with the third bullet point becoming our third paragraph. Step 5, if you have time, proofread your letter. And as always, each of these points will become a future video.